G'day, how yous going? This is Ianapolis from Australia here, and today I'm going to do a bit of a hilly mountain over some lakes and waterfall, okay? I don't know quite what I'm going to draw, so if you come over here, I've did a rough sketch out on the canvas, alright? So I'm going to have a bit of a mountain with some grass growing up to the height of it, some background trees here. This will be a lake coming into a waterfall with some grassy overhangs here, okay? And maybe rock and some foreground evergreen trees and some bushes there. Alright, so that's what we're going to paint today. So I'll just get onto the paints and colours that we're going to use, alright? We used phthalo blue, titanium white, mid-yellow, Van Dyke brown, sap green, yellow green or green yellow, crimson red, some liquid clear retarder medium, a 2-inch blending brush, another 2-inch flat brush, a small fan brush, a flat-headed square brush, my other 2-inch blending brush, another 1.5-inch brush for scenery, and my small filbert and this knife. Down here I've got my liquid flow white, and I'm going to have some phthalo blue as well, okay? So I'm going to wet me board, me canvas board. Oh, I better tell you what size canvas board we're using there, okay? You ready? See that? The numbers just come up on there already. You already know what it is, okay? Go away. Now, we're going to use our 2-inch brush, but I don't have a brush in my hand, so I better get one. Okay, I got it. There's me 2-inch brush. Bit of magic, isn't it, eh? Anyway, I've wet me canvas board and I've got me brush in me hand. I've always got me 2-inch in me hand, like that. And I'm going to... I want to blend the sky. I don't want to muck around and blend everything at the moment, okay? So we'll do what we got to do. So we're getting this on in the sky there. Let's get some more paint there. And retarder. There is retarder in this paint because I am going to do a bit of blending. And I've got my water there as well. So that's me water. And me skies up here. Now I never like my skies a solid colour. I always like them broken up, but you do your skies the way you do it. I'm just painting it the way I like my skies, alright? So that's that done. Alright, there's me phthalo blue. I'll just press the button for it. Okay, I've got some retarder with that as well. So now I'm swishing it into the sky like so, leaving some broken bits, maybe a bit over here. Alright. And I'm going to blend all this. Just there, and some in here as well where the water is, alright. Okay, now I need my 2-inch blending brush. Hey, presto, there she is. Now I'm going to blend this as I do. So come over here, and on and off, I'm blending into that liquid white, and that's allowing all my colours to smooth, merge, broken up colours, and I'm going to come down as low as where I know my mountain's going to be, okay? Alright, so we're getting all this blended. Okay, I've blended that, and I want to get a bit more darkness maybe in the water here somewhere, so I'm just sort of patting some on with my fan brush somewhere, getting my blending brush and blending it right through across there, just so we've got some different depths and tones and values in that water, okay? We'll get a bit of white, just to get some, just put some horizontal lines like that somewhere, just something to break it up as well. Wipe your blending brush. It's just minute, but it's detail, okay? Got my fan brush in hand, and I just want to put some soft, simple clouds in there, alright? So what we'll do, where I've got some of the lighter white areas in the sky, I'll take advantage of that and put some clouds in. So maybe I'm having the tops of them nice and whispery and furry, okay? There's maybe one over there. And probably something there. And just blend from halfway in that cloud down to your area. Well, we're going to have a mountain there, so we know that's our finishing point. Wipe your brush. And the same with here. Now, I haven't done a lot of mountains, as you all know, all right? But one thing I have discovered in doing a mountain picture is, just let me put another one just here, is you need your mountains up reasonably high in the painting, because if you have them too low, you're bringing the rest of your painting down and you're restricted for what detail or land mass or whatever you're going to put in there. That's just something I've discovered in doing the odd mountain painting that I have done, okay? All right, that's painted. Okay, I don't want to use black for the base of the mountain, so I'm using that phthalo blue that I had left over and crimson red. Okay, that phthalo blue and crimson red has made a very deep brown. Okay, most of the guys out there painting in oils with mountains, they knife it on, but I'm going to use a brush that's quite firm and directional. I've got more control over, and my paint has retarder in it. So I'm going to use that to put, instead of a knife, I'm going to use this to put me mountains in there, okay, like that, and then I can be blending it down like so as I go. I can get a reasonably decent edge to it, like so. There we go. And what I'm doing is I'm blending it down at the same time, okay? And then we'll get the rest of the mountain on. So it's going to virtually turn into a field over here. And see, that's why I wet the canvas, so as this is not going to be dry and it's a little bit draggy. So we've painted in our mountain, ready to put its tones and shades and shadows, okay? Now we want to paint the front foreground. So we're going to virtually where I want my foreground. I'm getting that same brush and I'm going to come along roughly where I want the front here, because all this is going to be coloured in as well. Okay, I've got some titanium white and I'm going to tone some of that colour down. That's it, just something like that, okay? Alright, I'm getting me white and mixing a bit of Van Dyke brown in there, just so as we can, not too much, but enough to get our colour that we're looking for, okay? This needs to be dry now, so because it's being acrylic, so we can get those other colours on there first before I add the Van Dyke brown and the white. Alright, so I'll just give this a blow dry. Alright, I'm going to use a knife, okay, and come from this bit here and sort of dance it on, keeping the edge somewhat. We don't have to come all the way down the mountain with this. If you're happy brushing this on, brush it on. If you're happy with a knife, knife it on, okay? But I'm being sure to keep this zigzag on my way down to give the mountain some kind of dimension, okay? And I'm just sort of on and off there, and I'm just going in a sort of a long motion like this. And then I'm going to come out. I don't want to kill too much of the black at the same time either. I'm probably going to come to there. Now I'm going to blend that. Okay, I've got my flat brush and I'm going to use that just to sort of come up into there. I'm pressing heavy and I'm sort of coming lighter and off the canvas. And I'm going to go again, just sort of scooting it up like so. Now this mix that we made up, I want to get a bit more with some white in it, okay? Just to make it lighter. So I'm getting some of that, and we're going to make up some different tones on there, alright? Just like that. Scoot that into gear as well, just so we've got some different tones and values on our hillside or our mountain there. Alright, down here I've got forest green, I've got sap green, I've got mid yellow, and I'm also got some white to tone these colours down. Okay, I'm using my Forceful flat 2-inch brush, sap green with a bit of yellow in there, and we'll start getting this on. But I just realised before I put this on, so as our grass isn't going to turn to mud, I better dry this here first because it's been acrylic. Okay, I've dried me hillside there, so I'm getting this sap green with some yellow, and I'm starting to get this grass going up to the side there, okay? Make sure you dry the, I can tell mine's still a little bit not quite dry enough, and it's wanting to mud up a bit. But we'll just dance that up there nice and neatly, some roundabout way. Highlighting some of this as well with some mixed yellow mixed in it, just to give it some highlights through the further away distance area. Alright, I got some of this lighter tone that I used here, and I added a bit more white, just so it's not stark white. And we just sort of want to come across the bank line there. And it's sort of like a grey colour, this. It's not so stark and white. That's it, just sort of like that. This, if anything's the bank over there, is a bit of a bank. And where the grey is hitting the water, that's where I want the white bit, very thinly. Just staggered along here and there. Just some surface lines on your water. Thin as possible if you can. Yourself a fan brush, and we'll get some little trees out here, just a group of trees. Just, my head's not in the way, is it? Alright. Just some groups. Try not to do them in a line. If you can, try and have them back and forward from each other, so they're not just a straight line across the front of your painting there, okay? I want some in groups. These are very far away. Okay, while that paint's still a bit damp and moist, I'm just sort of blending it to the surface area there, creating some shadow under those distant trees. I've just got a little filbert brush here, and it's just sort of marrying them away down into the ground there like that, alright? See what I'm doing? We've got the distant trees in the background, alright? And they're not just in a straight line, they're up and down and all over the place, the way they should be in real life, okay? So I've got my forest green now, and I'm just sort of stamping it on. Go hover over that black horizon line a bit, and try not to kill all your darks. We're going to highlight this as well, just so it's not like a uniform pattern, okay? So we'll get this all the way on the side there, and it's sort of coming down there like that. Alright. Okay, I've just added some of my mid-yellow to that mix just to highlight this field here. So this is, we've got the black, we've got the dark green underneath to create the depth. Now the virtual colour is this colour here. So this one here you want a bit neater, and you know, your rhythm of movements, you want a bit more class in your flow of your brush strokes. See there, these are a bit all over the place, but they're going to be covered up. Alright, so this is coming down over the water there.
Alright, we'll get a tree set. So I want one about here. Draw the line to guide you.
Grab the corner of the fan brush. You can leave bits of gaps in between them. Push up as well as you go. Come there somewhere, one about there. And get the shadow of it in there at least, so we can start highlighting it with the appropriate colours. Because you need the darkness there to give yourself some depth in your work.
Another one here somewhere.
Just the basis of one. I've got my smaller brush. Okay, I've done all this with the dark green. Now I've got the sap green, and I want to gently get some sap green colours into here, okay? Try not to kill all the blacks or the darker colour. Get this back one there on. Just using whatever fan brush you're comfortable with. See, this bit here was a bit too light, so I'm just going to get this green over it. Make it look a bit more like a tree. The same here. Leaving enough dark there to give that tree a decent bit of realism. I've got to come out over all that black that's gone there, because you don't want just black dots dancing in the sky. Alright. No cartoony stuff. Just enough to say, yeah, that's a tree there. Get them in front there. Now we're just mixing some of that sap green with a tintiest bit of yellow just to lighten it up, just so we can get some realistic highlights on there instead of them being too white or too yellow. Alright, what I want to do now is just put some shrubs in front of these evergreens here, but I need my shrubbery brush, so let's just hope I can get it okay. Boom, there she is, my brush, it's in my hand. Okay, why I say this is my shrubbery brush, see, it's all munted up at the end. Find a brush that you love doing shrubs in. I call this my shrub brush, okay? So what we're going to do is get some of our dark colour, which I made up before out of the phthalo blue and the red. Alright, get it reasonably damp. Alright, I've got this on my brush. Now I work out where I want my shrubs. I want one about here, so just black it in there. Alright, nice and feathery on the edges, and I want another one about here, okay? And then we'll probably go to the other side. Put one about there in front of all that, just like so, and give him a little friend as well over here somewhere like that. let them overlap each other so you can break them up with your highlights. Okay, I'm starting off with the yellow-green for my highlighted colours, and I'm also going to use mid-yellow. I want to work with the front one, then the back one. So if anything, they're going to look like two balls, one in front and one here, okay? So I've got my yellow-green, and I just want to highlight that front area, bringing the shape of it and stopping there, okay? That's a bit thick. You want it a bit more whispery than that. And then this one, we bring in front of it. Nice. Try not to kill all the blacks, but give it enough. And we're coming over the shape of that. It's like a sort of made a conifer bush. It's what we call them in Australia. Okay. You want the edges nice and cut and wispy. So he's there in front of this one. So we'll make the ball there, so to speak, okay? Oh, look at all that yellow I've been picking up, you naughty boy. And highlight it now. They're more of a yellowy green, these ones. Just something different in the mix of bushes and shrubbery. Get the top of our plant there. Make sure, don't press too heavy. So we're kind of making a dome, circle, sphere shape out of that shrub there. There's one. And here's the other one. I'll fix that yellow blob up in a minute. Alright, I'm mixing up some phthalo blue and white just so as we can get this waterfall going, alright? Okay, so now I've got it chiselled onto my fan brush. I want to leave some of the dark in between, and we're going to just sort of create our water coming down, leave it broken a bit. Just do one side. We haven't got a very high waterfall because we're coming from about here, so now we're going to paint our surface water in, leaving some black against the greenery there, okay? Along there, and then we'll highlight this water. I'll give it some darker tones in there as well, some darker values, just from about here. That's it, just like so. A bit more. Get some white in there. Just like so, then we'll blend that in. Just from the edge into the middle like so. Turn your brush around. Come from there just like so. I've just extended the black area because, like I said before in the beginning of the painting, you need your mountains at a certain height to allow for the bottom. So we sort of were short there. So I'm just going to bring this pond just so it looks like it's the water's going under these reeds or whatever they might be. Just give it a bit more bullshit realism. We just want it to look like it's just water falling down into another bit of a lakeish pond sort of thing, you know. Come along here. You just got to leave enough black between the water and the grassy shore there. Now it's not a massive waterfall, so this waterfall is not going to have spray and that everywhere. If you do a long one, you can do that, but just realise if your waterfall's only short, I've seen some people, they'll do a waterfall and it's only a little drop, like not even a foot, and they'll get carried away and put mist all in it. Okay, I've just knifed on some turmoil in this water, some agitation ripples there, just because we have water above it dropping into it. Just used a knife. Now I want to get my same fan brush that I created the waterfall bit with, and I'm just getting the slightest white on there just to get our bit of white now coming over. But I don't want to make it too white. That's it. Now what I will do is get some white on the fan brush. I haven't cleaned it, and we'll just sort of allow some slight turmoil there. That's it. Alright, and if you want to do here, we can blend that in just like so. Now I want to just get a little bit of white. Alright, we're just going to whack a frame on this, okay? So I'll just grab my frame from down here. We'll sit that on there like that. See how she looks. Okay, that's not too bad. Alrighty, you can probably put some dead limbs in front of there if you want, or get carried away and put some birds or some mist around the top of the mountain. But anyway, we'll call that finished, alright? Please subscribe to the bloopers channel in the link below to keep up with regular updates, alright? All the best, goodbye, good luck, and good on yous!